Folk story, strange cheating case. Early years of Qianlong in Qing dynasty, Hu Yunsheng, a candidate from Taizhou, took the township test, won the first place in one fell swoop. Liu Peishuan, then governor of Jiangsu. It's his examiner. This day, he ordered that Hu Yunsheng be invited to the mansion. To summon him personally. Soon Hu Yunsheng was taken to the governor's hospital. Governor Liu looked him up and down, and looked at it carefully. I saw this scholar in rags, but the brow is full of heroic spirit. Governor Liu has been an official for many years, read countless people. He believed, Hu Yunsheng must be a piece of puyu. Then he looked at the seat, serve tea, start talking. Hu Yunsheng is indeed a promising young man. A brilliant young man. When asked about his family situation, he has a gloomy face, unable to speak for a long time. It turns out that the Hu family is poor. Make a living by his father doing some small business. Fortunately, the two brothers lived up to expectations, admitted to the scholar early, became a student in the county school. Unfortunately, the weather is not beautiful. My father died of a sudden illness the year before last. The whole family was in trouble at once. So his brother Hu Yunlai had to give up his studies, for my brother to study alone, although Hu Yunsheng won the first place in the provincial examination this time. But do you have the money to take the exam in Beijing next year? That's hard to say. Governor Liu comforted him and said, you don't have to go back to Taizhou, just stay here and study. You don't have to worry about the life of your family. All the expenses, I'll bear it all by myself. Hu Yunsheng waved his hand again and again. No, this can't be done. I met adults for the first time. There is no other relationship. Do not work. Governor Liu waved his hand, smiled and said, then let's be clear. I have a daughter named Butterfly. At the age of 18, not yet married. I'll be the matchmaker myself today. Choose you as my son-in-law. So I support your study and progress. Isn't it a matter of course? Such a good thing. Can Hu Yunsheng disagree? So I quickly got up and bowed down, pay tribute to Wang Su, Governor Liu. So he carved out 2 clean rooms in the corner of the mansion. As Hu Yunsheng study, with such good conditions, Hu Yunsheng studied harder. He studies until midnight every day. He is determined to win the championship again next year. To repay the kindness of Governor Liu. This day, Hu Yunsheng is studying hard in his study. Suddenly someone came to visit him, open the door and have a look. It's Zhu Jieqi. He is not only from the same village as himself. Or my classmates. He used to be a student in the county school, but he is a rich boy. The usual thoughts are not necessarily spent on reading. He invited Hu Yunsheng to a restaurant. I didn't explain my purpose until I drank half the wine. I heard that the imperial court will be among the students recently. Select a group of talents, be an official at the county level. Is it the case? Hu Yunsheng then said, right, there is such a thing, brother. You must seize this good opportunity. Good to take a step forward. Zhu Jieqi hurriedly said, I can ask you about this. It is said that the jury will ask for a review of the pleadings, but my studies have long been abandoned. It's hard to write, so please help. Hu Yunsheng immediately after listening to a positive, you mean let me write it for you? This can't be done, impossible, really can't make it. Zhu Jieqi said, that's not what I meant. I have inquired very clearly. Say your future father-in-law, now he is a government official, responsible for talent selection in Jiangsu. Just say hello to him. Why Xianqing will be done. What can't be said between Wang Su? I just want you to bend the rules. What do you think? Hearing this, Hu Yunsheng hurriedly shook his head and said, the imperial court cannot cheat in selecting talents. I won't intercede. In other words, Governor Liu won't agree. Brother Zhu, go back and make some preparations. Honestly, Zhu Jieqi said a lot of good things. But Hu Yunsheng didn't promise to help at all. As a result, the two of them broke up in discord. Later, Zhu Jieqi took part in the selection examination. I did badly in the science exam, and Zhu Jieqi not only doesn't blame himself for neglecting his studies. I only blame Hu Yunsheng for refusing to help. From resentment to hatred, always thinking about finding an opportunity, find some trouble for Hu Yunsheng. A few days later, Zhu Jiaji came to the provincial capital again. This time he didn't find Hu Yunsheng, but directly found the governor Liu. Zhu Guqi's strange language asked, Liu Darren, Hu Yunsheng, that young man, young, handsome and talented. Now he is the governor, your son-in-law. It's really not enviable, but I have one thing, I just can't figure it out. I don't know that the daughter of Governor Liu later married into the Hu family. Is she the first wife or the second wife? Governor Liu heard this. A face of unhappiness. You mustn't talk nonsense about this. I have read Hu Yunsheng's resume. He has never been married. How do you say your daughter is the first wife or the second wife? if you make something out of nothing, be careful of your head. Zhu Jiaji laughed. Even if he hasn't been married yet, doesn't he just fuck around all day, secretly? Find a confidant and decide for life in private. As he spoke, while taking out a scroll from the book bag, open it slowly, please have a look. Governor Lu only took one look, suddenly changed color. It turns out that this scroll is called Reading Pictures in Midsummer. There are only 2 people up there. Point 1 is Hui Yunsheng, reading at his desk with his back bare. The other is a beautiful woman. Leaning against Hui Yunsheng's side, shake a fan and blow the wind. Intimacy comes to my face, look at that. Signature again. It was indeed last August. Governor Lu fought back his anger. Where did this thing come from? Zhu Jieqi said, last September, there is a boy selling paintings in the street. I also asked him where the painting came from. He said he picked it up in the suburbs, because it is related to the privacy of classmates. So, I bought it. Now I hear that Hui Yunsheng is engaged to your daughter. I am afraid of repeating the mistakes of Qin Shimi and Qin Xianglian. So, I'm here to give a message to adults. To remind adults. After Governor Lu accepted the words, he was rewarded with 12 taels of silver. I waved my hand to Fu Zhen, Miss Lu Kaidai of the Lu family. It must be that identity is the most delicate. How can she be someone else's little wife? When she knew about it, I can't stop making trouble at the moment. Keep shouting to die. Governor Lu was very angry. He wants to sue Hui Yunsheng for cheating marriage. Legal punishment, but I'm afraid it will make an uproar, embarrass oneself. So he thought for a moment, then you can't be sure of any charges, only ordered him into death row. It's a pity that poor Hui Yunsheng. I don't know what crime I have committed. Also kept crying out, but the prison door is locked. Murky sky over a dark earth, unable to call heaven. Finally, there is no way, had to die in prison. News of Hui Yunsheng's crime, it soon spread to his hometown. Hui Yunsheng's brother Hui Yunlai rushed to the provincial capital. Hui Yunlai came to the yamen of Lu Xuanfu to ask. The gatekeeper's soldiers were surprised. Isn't this Hui Yunsheng on death row? How can he escape? Immediately twisted Hui Yunlai report to the Governor Lu. Hui Yunlai quickly defended himself, said he was Hui Yunsheng's twin brother. He came to the yamen to inquire about what his brother had done. Governor Lu can't tell the twins apart. Which is the elder brother? Which is the younger brother? He is too lazy to investigate and distinguish. What he thinks is that he would rather kill by mistake than let one go. Simply put, Hui Yunlai on death row. 2. Besides, Hui Yunlai's wife's name is Zhang Aixia. She is usually a weak woman. Now my brother's life and death are unknown, and her husband never came back. Make her think about tea and rice, fidget, but just worrying is not the way. So she had to bite the bullet, embarked on the road of finding a husband. However, the provincial capital is so big. I have searched for a few days, but I can't find anyone. But she spent all her travel expenses. What should I do? In desperation, Zhang Aixia remembered the act of busking. So she went to the painting shop and bought some paper and ink. Draw up in the street, sell cheaply. Zhang Aixia was born in a scholarly family. I learned a good painting from my father since I was a child. Lu Katie's made on this day. I saw Zhang Aixia's painting in the street. Can't help but stop admiring. She thought to herself, my lady loves dancing best on weekdays. I'm worried about my marriage these days. Why not buy some paintings to make her happy? Because the servant girl often accompanies the young lady to see pictures, she also learned to appreciate simply. So, I picked a few pictures I liked and took them back. When Lu Kaidai saw these flawless paintings, praised greatly, she hurriedly ordered the servant girl, please invite Zhang Aixia to her home to learn skills. When Lu Kaidai saw the figure of Zhang Caixia, she just feels deja vu, but I can't remember where I met at the moment. When they first met, I don't have the nerve to ask too many questions. They just let Zhang Aixia paint there, and they are quietly watching around. White and flawless splash ink, draw a smiling face, draw a bird to fly. Realistic modeling, lifelike. Lu Kaidai appreciates it very much, appreciate it for a while, then ask, can you draw portraits? Zhang Aixia said, there is nothing difficult about it, but I don't know which one Miss wants to draw. Lu Kaidai asked, can you draw yourself? Zhang Aixia watched my shabby clothes, let out a sigh, say, now I look haggard. I'm afraid I've defiled Mrs. Paper and Pen. If you want to draw, just draw my past. Lu Kaidai is not reluctant. Say, it is up to you. Nothing is unacceptable. Zhang Aixia remembered the past days. My brother studies hard. Husband works hard to earn money to support his family, although they are not very rich, but that family have the peace and comfort of a peasant family. Thoughts unconsciously flow to the pen, painted beautiful tranquility. Zhang Aixia's expression facing the flawless white portrait. Lu Kaidai said nothing, just call Wei, is that you? Who are you? Zhang Aixia doesn't know why Miss Lu is surprised. So, I introduced my life experience and family, let out a sigh. Now my brother is in prison. I don't know what's going on now, about my husband being my brother, out of the house, now I don't know where he is. I'm the one looking for my brother, looking for a husband's daughter-in-law. Be online. Lu Kaidai can't remember so many situations and names that I only remember the words Hui Yunsheng. So she took out a midsummer picture reading, said coldly, look at this. Zhang Aixia was surprised at first sight. Why do you have this painting? Is that how the case was solved? Lu Kaidai was confused by what she said. What case? Zhang Aixia said, 2 months ago my house was stolen, that I lost some money, and this painting. Lu Kaidai suddenly cried out that I in this case, you are Hui Yunsheng's wife. Aixia Zhang suddenly some angry, miss, are you kidding? Hui Yunsheng and Hui Yunlai are twin brothers. The man in this picture, that it's my husband Hui Yunlai. Miss Lu Zheng, say, is your husband also a scholar? Zhang Aixia is a little sad. My husband was also a student at the county school, but because of his father's death, it is difficult to support 2 scholars at home. My husband had to bite the bullet and give up his studies for my younger brother to finish school. The day my husband dropped out of school, he is very sad. So I drew this midsummer reading picture as a permanent memorial. After Lu Kaidai heard this, I suddenly understood everything. It turned out that he was wrong about Hui Yunsheng. She immediately left Zhang Aixia suddenly rushed into his father's study, breathless, shouting, Father, let Mr. Hu go quickly. Governor Lu listened to her daughter's account and brought Zhang Aixia for careful questioning. Only then did I know that I believed the villain's words. Handle rashly, made a wrong case of enemies. He couldn't help feeling very regretful. So he asked the jailer to release him quickly, while ordering people to catch Zhu Jieqi. Then Zhu Jieqi confessed quickly, then he was put on death row. There is no need to say more about him. Except that the Hu brothers were tortured. 3-point likeness, 7 points are like ghosts. The 2 brothers couldn't help crying as soon as they met. Governor Lu is very sorry. Tell the doctor we should try our best to treat the bodies of the Hu brothers, and insisted that Hui Yunlai also stay at his home to study. Only in this way can the Hu family be rich and promising in the future. Hui Yun track, we all accept the kindness of adults. It's just that we've been away from home for a long time. Let's go home and have a look first, then come back. Governor Lu saw that what he said made sense, that it's not easy to stop them, had to let them return home. The Hu brothers returned to their hometown, but refused to go to the provincial capital again. No matter that Miss Lu Kaidai, no matter how hard you work, Hui Yunsheng decided to kill him. I will never be the son-in-law of the Lu family again. The Governor Lu mercilessly put him on death row. Play with human life if he really becomes his son-in-law, so he spent his whole life. I'm going to live in fear. On the contrary, Zhang Aixia inadvertently, I found the value of my painting. She drew a conclusion from this matter. Since painting can bring disaster to people, then painting can't bring happiness to people. From this time on, she painted and sold paintings for the Hu brothers to study. Lu Xiujie failed to propose marriage, cry every day, complain about my father's incompetence as an official, in a blink of an eye. It was the spring of the next year. Seeing Hui Yunsheng still has no intention of repentance, Governor Lu is also a little impatient. I was just about to do that again, when punishing Hui Yunsheng, suddenly the news came from Beijing that it is said that Hui Yunsheng won the first prize in spring, become the upstart of the imperial court. Governor Lu immediately blindsided at this time, which means from now on it is impossible for him to control Hui Yunsheng casually. Listen to folk stories and taste life. Let's go on with the story that in the early years of the Northern Song dynasty, Zhong Jianshu, a Juren from East County, because some ideas run counter to the imperial court. As a result, it fell to Sun Shan in one fell swoop. He is full of grief and indignation. Go boating on the lake, take out UD and play with the vast waves to relieve boredom. While he was entertaining himself, suddenly a sailboat came. A girl like a maid stood at the bow of the boat, shout, "This way." "Hello," I said. The boy in front. My lady wants to ask the sun to come here. I asked that okay with you. Zhong Jianshu saw that the girl was very beautiful. Miss Xan must not be an idle person. So I skipped it in one step. He gave him a look inside the cabin, saw a girl sitting in the cabin. It seems that he is about 18 or 19. Grow very beautiful and elegant. Really more beautiful than several maids. So Zhong Jianshu hurriedly politely upon the girl. Zhong Jianshu asked, "It turns out That the girl's name is Zhang Jianxiang. That is the only daughter of Shang Shu of the Ministry of Industry. That I'm going back to my hometown to visit her relatives. While passing by here, that he was deeply attracted by Zhong Jianchu's flute. So I sailed over. The two of them wrote poems on the boat together. Talk about the past, talk about the present, more talk, more speculation. It can be seen that both of them have a brief encounter. So two people in the boat settle down for life in private. Zhong Jianchu has two pieces of red and green jade on him. So he gave one of them to Zhang Jianxiang. As a token of love. Zhang Jianxiang also put himself one of the two jade cicadas you carry with you. I gave it to Zhong Jianchu as a souvenir. After returning to Suzhou, many relatives and friends, they all sent people to write to the government, propose marriage to Miss Zhang Jianxiang. But they were all rejected by her one by one, because Zhang Jianxiang is still thinking about it. Zhong Jianchu, who has set himself up for life. Zhang Shangshu has only one daughter in his family. I regard it as the apple of my eye on weekdays. If she refuses one by one, that the old couple is really helpless. It wasn't long before a young man came to his house, claimed that he had an appointment with the young lady. Zhang Shangshu also wants to see, what kind of character is this epigenetic? I can't believe that his daughter, who has always felt proud of herself, be fascinated by, when that young man came to the lobby. Immediately let Zhang Shangshu dumbfounded. He saw that the young man really looked like Pan, and Zhang Shangshu is not very clear about epigenetic literary talent. What's the matter? So I just said a few words casually, and that young man actually, the answer made him very satisfied. So he was filled with joy. When Zhang Shangshu met epigenetic in the living room, his daughter Zhang Jianxiang peeked behind the screen. It was Zhong Jianchu at first sight. Can't help but be elated, very excited. Her little heart is excited. It's almost jumping out. That night, Zhang Jianxiang came to Zhong Jianchu's room. After a long separation, Zhang Jianxiang not only let out a cry softly, Takuro, then she threw herself into his arms. The two men then told each other about their parting. When it comes to emotion, it's almost unbearable. Fall on the bed together to have sex in the rain. This wonderful moment. Just listen to the sound of a stork, seeing a dart suddenly fly in from the outside, right in the wall of the bed. The two of them suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. Zhong Jianchu jumped out of bed at once, opened the door quickly, but the darters have disappeared. Look at that dart again. There is a flower engraved on it. It turned out to be in Tiannan mountain nearby. There is a bandit named Washikyu. Take the mountain as king, rob a hunting house, kill the rich and help the poor. His flying skills are quite good. He usually wears dark blue clothes. So people call him the Knight in Black, without calling him by his real name. Darts are his unique hidden weapon. From this perspective, who can hand out darts except the Knight in Black? Zhang Shangshu heard that the Knight in Black had been here, not only shivered, because he had heard rumors, the Knight in Black has let out the wind, said to rob a woman with both talent and beauty, be the lady on the mountain, so he's worried that if anything goes wrong, then the marriage between Zhong Jianchu and his daughter will be ruined. So Zhang Shangshu decided to get married for them as soon as possible. Consequently, Zhang Shangshu had someone choose an auspicious day for them, because they met on the lake. So Zhang Jianxiang suggested that the wedding be held on the boat. I heard that Zhang Shangshu's daughter is going to get married on the boat. Many fishermen happened to coincide. They all rowed boats to watch the fun. Soon the beautiful lake was surrounded. Look from a distance, a big red lantern hung high on a big official ship. Colorful flags are flying high. There are also several boats guarding around, tight and tight. See the wind music on the boat playing in unison. The gongs and drums are all over the sky. As soon as the wedding time comes, see the MC sing a big promise, announce the start of the wedding. Then I saw the bride and groom go to the bow with a red hydrangea. When they were about to worship heaven and earth, suddenly I heard a noise outside the door. I saw a boat coming quickly from a distance. I saw a woman on that boat, followed by a boy and a girl. I saw the woman shouted, Zhao Hongzhou, you heartless, ungrateful thing, get the fuck out of here. I saw the woman climb on the boat, but it was turned back by the guards at the BOW. So the woman sat on the bow and burst into tears, cry and scold Zhao Hongzhou, you shameless fanatic, leave your wife and children behind, come here to marry another woman. Oh my god, open your eyes, quickly, look at this place quickly, hear a woman crying. Zhang Jianxiang suddenly took off her veil, watching the groom at a loss, she couldn't help yelling. Come on, who the hell are you? The groom said, I'm Zhong Jianchu, don't believe me? Look what this is. With this, he took out the jade zen. Zhang Jianxiang took a look at Yu Chan. It's a perfect match with your own one. Then Zhang Jianxiang took out Zhong Jianshu again, the red jade that was given to her. Ask, let me ask you again, what about the green jade? The groom can't help being embarrassed. Say, to tell you the truth, the money I brought when I came here this time, they were all stolen by thieves on the way. Out of frustration, for my husband, I had to put the half piece of green jade in the shop to hold it down. His voice did not fall. I don't know who it is. Help the woman on the boat and her children. As soon as the woman got on deck, just grabbed the groom's clothes. 2 children also grabbed his skirts and cried, Dad, let's go home. Zhang Shangshu, who is sitting at the top of the wedding at this time, I can't help it anymore. So he patted the table angrily. Harsh voice, Wei, Zhong Jianshu, you used to be a married man. The children are so old. How dare you lie to my daughter about her marriage? You have a lot of nerve. Somebody help me. Put this beast in jail quickly. Find out the truth in the future. Be sure to punish severely. Things here haven't been settled yet. There was a scream from the servant on the deck. It turned out that after Miss Zhang Jianxiang found out that she had been cheated, be very much ashamed. She couldn't get over it at the time. Jumped into the lake while the chaos was raging. Zhang Shangshu quickly ordered the servant, get in the water and save people. Besides, that young lady Zhang Jianxiang jumped into the lake. When the water choked, she doesn't know anything anymore. When she woke up unsteadily, only to find myself lying in a car, there is a big black man sitting opposite, dressed in Xing Yi, have a beard, and a murderous look on his face. Didn't she think she had jumped into the lake? Why are you lying in the car now? She stood up in fright, curled up in a corner, asked in horror, who the hell are you? Where are you taking me? I saw the man pull out a dart, wiped his weapon on the sole and said, I don't know if you've heard of it. A man named Black Knight, next is also as for where to take you. You'll understand when we get there. Zhang Jianxiang heard that he was a knight in black. She couldn't help shivering, look at the darts in his hand, and when he and Zhong Jianshu had a tryst that night, the one thrown on the guest room wall is exactly the same. She couldn't help asking, did you throw the dart that night? The knight in black said, yes. Don't say throwing darts that night. Even when you got married on the boat yesterday, I invited the woman and the 2 children. Zhang Jianxiang quickly asked after hearing this, then why did you do it? The man in black with a snort. No more words at this time. The carriage passed several checkpoints, finally stopped in front of a stockade. In an instant, many minions ran out of the stockade, turned straight around the carriage. Some people lifted the curtains and looked in, others smiled at the men in black. See yourself being led into a thief's nest. Zhang Jianxiang collapsed in the car in fear. I wish instead of being defiled by thieves, why don't you just die yourself? So she quickly pulled out a silver hairpin from her head, trying to end his life. The knight in black is quick in eye and quick in hand. Grabbed the silver hairpin with one hand. Just then a sad flute came. It sounds like complaining. Let a person feel a little sad. Isn't this blown by Zhong Jianshu? How did he get here? Are they a group? Before Zhang Jianxiang, after careful consideration, she saw it. There are 4 people carrying a man on a stretcher. The man still has a bandage on his leg. I saw that man was black and thin, holding a UD in his hand. This person is Zhong Jianshu. How yesterday on the boat with yourself? When we worship heaven and earth together, he is still fat for nothing. Now how so fast, and suddenly? It's like this, possible, 9 times out of 10, they were beaten by servants of his Shang family. Think of cheating on marriage. Zhang Jianxiang's heart ached. So he pointed to Zhong Jianshu and swore, okay, you clock tree, you shameless thing, dare to cheat marriage, I'll fight with you, he said. Jump on him and catch him. Black Knight hurriedly pulled her away. Say, it's better to wait until tomorrow, when I sent you and Zhong Gongzi back to Shengshefu. Find out for yourselves. In addition, that Zhang Shangshu, since his daughter jumped into the lake, I quickly ordered people to go down to the lake to salvage, but where to find it? Because I'm angry and anxious. So he suddenly fell ill in bed. On the afternoon of the 3rd day, Zhang Shangshu is lying in bed crying secretly. Suddenly, the servant came to report that Miss Zhang had come back. Zhang Shangshu hurriedly cheer up and have a look. It's really his baby daughter who's back. Followed by 2 people. One is a knight in black, one is Zhong Jianshu. He couldn't help shouting, old lady, I have put this thief in prison. Who let him out? Adult, the knight in black said, I'm afraid you have the wrong person. So he asked the chief to go to prison quickly, bring up that Zhong Jianshu. When the officials put that Zhong Jianshu, when I brought it out of prison, Zhang Shangshu was not only taken aback, what he saw was 2 Zhong Jianshu, and look exactly the same. What the hell is going on here? It turns out that Zhong Jianshu has a cousin named Xiao Hongzhou. They are not only about the same age and they look very similar. Zhao Hongzhou is a famous prodigal son in Jinling that he was revered by Zhong Jianshu for singing several good poems when he heard that Zhong Jianshu, after a private engagement with Shangshu's daughter on the lake, so he relied on his resemblance to his cousin, decided to be an imposter, just pretend that he has something to do. To accompany his cousin to Beijing. When passing by Tiannan Mountain, take advantage of Zhong Jianshu's unprepared. Took the jade cicada and also pushed Zhong Jianshu off the cliff. When Zhong Jianshu fell off the cliff, fortunately, I was caught by a branch. That time, the Black Knight happened to pass by. So I saved him. When the Knight in Black listened to Zhong Jianshu's story, moved by their stories, and moved chivalrous heart. So I went to Shangshafu to inquire about the actual situation. Happened to meet Zhao Hongzhou and Zhang Jianxiang, who want to have sex. In order to keep Zhang Jianxiang's innocence. So the Knight in Black threw a dart. As a warning, then go and get Zhao Hongzhou's wife and children, and came to the boat with Zhao's wife and children. But he didn't think that Zhang Jianxiang thought he had been cheated, but the reaction was so strong that I want to throw myself into the river. Later, he was rescued by the Black Knight and sent them all back to Shangshafu together. When Zhang Shangshu and everyone present understood, after the whole story, have to thank the Black Knight upon, and said that if it wasn't for the Knight in Black, I really don't know what the consequences will be. But when they looked up, the Knight in Black has already rode away.